Thanks, Brenda, for having us. Thanks, Brenda, for having us here this evening to do the second part of conscious language with essential oils, and I'm sure that you will all enjoy this. So this is going to be an evening where I'm going to ask everybody to speak up and share, because it is about a collective way of moving forward with your conscious language. And here's some questions that I'm posing to start with. So firstly, how does your personal belief systems on prosperity, worthiness, and receiving influence you? That's the first thing. Secondly, how do you feel? Brenda, you may want to mute everybody.
Okay, I will.
I'm going to do this as a recording, all right, for the moment. So how do you feel receiving thanks from those people? So just have a think about this in terms of how you respond to things, right? Because in conscious language, we need to be very mindful of what we take up in here and how we relate that to ourselves. What are we consistently telling ourselves, all right? So this is why I'm posing these different questions. Because if you want to grow a successful business, your belief system in things such as prosperity and worthiness and being able to receive is really important. So the third question is, how do you feel receiving acknowledgement from people? And then the fourth question is, how do you feel receiving money for a service that you do, or for somebody being grateful to you, or if it's a large check from Young Living, you know, as a diamond? How would you feel about that? Can you accept it? Is it something within your mindset that you feel comfortable with? So, Debbie, I'm going to put you up front of this and ask you to unmute yourself for a moment and just give me your feel on some of these questions. How do you feel about them?
Critical and severe patients, it actually recommends it against people who are not serious. And NIH also said only for serious patients
previously had
who are
trouble
either on ventilators or
Hold on, Carolyn. Brenda, you need to mute Carolyn,
Okay.
because her background is, yes, great, thank you.
Pauline,
Yes.
so I don't, because I've been screenshotting. Is it all right if we ask a copy of this from you, so I don't have to screenshot all the time?
Sure. Yes, by all means. And look, I meant to send last week's and completely forgot. Then I need to send this one as well. So please send me a reminder at the end.
Yeah.
All right. So Debbie, sorry, please come back to us and tell us these questions I'm posing. How do you feel about them?
Sorry, there's flies flying here. I've had trouble previously being able to thank people or be thankful when people give me something.
So can I just, because I'm going to be right on everybody's language tonight, so my choices for you to re-speak that are to say, in the past, I have been, you know, and continue talking because you don't want to bring that into the now and you don't want it to go forward. So in the past I did this but now I'm choosing this. Okay.
So,
So
in the
sorry,
past,
continue.
yeah, in the past, I had trouble with receiving things. But I have learned through what I've read that you need to be thankful because people are happy to give you something. So if you say no, you shouldn't do that, then that makes them feel bad. So it's, you know, for their benefit as well as yours. So you need to say thank you for that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Debbie. Now, Lolly, would you care to add, looking at these questions I'm posing, how has that in the past been for you in difference to, you know, moving forward, and or has it always been something that's been easy for you?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. How do I feel about receiving thanks from those that I help? I like to help people, and I guess it depends on the type of thanks, if that makes sense. It's nice to be acknowledged and for someone to recognize that you have helped them. How do I feel about receiving acknowledgement? Yeah. Again, I guess, you know, you want people to appreciate that you've done something for them. They don't always necessarily. Don't think that I feel particularly one way or the other on either of those. And how do I feel about receiving money or large checks from Young Living as a Diamond? That, to a certain extent, that's quite exciting in the prospect that by receiving a large check from Young Living, I would be able to help other people. So that I find would be, for me, you know, I think about all the good that could be done with that. So yeah, that's my view on those three.
Great. So I'm really pleased, Lolly, to hear you say, you know, in terms of being a Young Living Diamond, that would mean you could help others, because Mary Young has always said, we need good people earning good money to do good things. And I have always come from that space. And so, you know, I've found over the years being able to help the children in Ecuador by contributing to education there, and a whole variety of things that I've done. Just allows that opportunity that you are, you know, seeing the money come in, and you're also seeing the money go out, and being able to feel good about some of the great things that you can do. So thank you for that. All right, I'm going to continue. As we go through, I'll be asking different people different questions. Brenda, can you, whoever that is, if you can just mute them.
I have already. Thank you, Pauline.
Okay, great. Thank you. Only, you know, from my perspective, if you want to be able to share this with others so that everyone can hear. All right. Fabulous. So now let's just go back to last week. I talked about the word want, and I'm hoping that over this last week, you have tried to consistently think about using other words other than I want. All right. And that you've, you know, really kept that in mind. So in exploring that and learning that that was about lack, what I'd like to look at today is I can't, or I should have. Okay, so you hear people say, oh, I can't play right now. I can't study. I can't concentrate. I should have done the job. I should have married you. And this, you know, you can feel the regret in the feeling behind those words. And what this does is it robs us of choice. It robs us of having control over what we can go out and do. It robs us of our freedom by using those words, right? And words like, I don't have it. I desire it. Yes. So yet, you know, one of the challenges is that in the very words we use, we need to look at what we choose not to say and what we choose to put in its place. So consistently looking at upgrading of can't, or I should have married you, and go instead to a position of strength where we say, I choose to. I choose to marry you. You know, that's so much more exciting. That comes from a space of, I can do this. I will. And just in changing from I can't to I choose to, or I will, that can actually change your life in an instant. And as crazy as that may seem, it can be that quick for you. All right. Now, my highest choice is to empower all of you, all of our members around the whole of the world, to look into your life and really get down to looking at how we can empower each other and partner with each other for success in our businesses. And language is a really key part to that. The question is, how can we build a successful young living business and empower and keep balance in our lives? And when you start to look at what we have, it starts to actually come together very nicely. Because Gary Young has created for us the most amazing products. Unquestionably, and I'm sure you will all agree, unquestionably, on a day-to-day basis, there must be items that you use within Young Living that takes you to, you know, a level of gratefulness that you have these products. In doing that, he actually touches the essence of our being, right to Mother Nature, the essence of the substance of plant life for our well-being. And as well, in the blends that he has created for us, combining that language, the essence of our language and how we use it, he has touched the truth of our heart. And he has done that so beautifully, and he has done it because of his desire to actually help all of us empower ourselves to better health and wellness. And you can feel that. You can feel it when you know, as I said, I listened to this DVD of Gary for 2 hours today. You can feel it in his conversation. You can feel it from his heart to your heart. But conscious language is where it starts. So to become aware of your languaging is so important. And what I have learned over the years from many of the different modalities that I've done is that my subconscious is literal. So when I say I can't, that is exactly what my subconscious is hearing. It pulls me away from the motivation. It pulls me away from the happiness and joy of being able to achieve and have a sense of satisfaction, because it takes us down a pathway of fear. Indifference to being able to say, I can, I choose to. All right. So here's our choices with our language. We can consistently self-sabotage ourselves every single second of every waking moment. Or we can be mindful of our language to help bring us our heart's desire. Brenda, what would you prefer of those two? Self-sabotage or bringing your heart's desire?
I prefer bring my heart's desire.
Fantastic.
Thanks, Pauline.
Rada, what about you?
I know, and do you hear me?
Yes.
I don't understand the first one. Sorry, Pauline.
The self-sabotage?
Yeah.
Okay, so when we say, I can't, let's say you were aiming to achieve as executive this month, right? Which we know you've well and truly achieved that, okay? So let's say you were aiming to achieve at executive and you went out there and you were looking for people and you were, you know, had been out at an expo and you'd talked to many people and you'd had people say, oh, look, please contact me because I really want these products. In fact, I want a whole range of them. You know, in fact, I would like the complete oils kit. Okay. But if your mind was consistently saying, oh, I just can't contact that person. I know she told me she wanted this, but, you know, I don't think she really does. I think really she was just saying that. And I just can't contact her. That is self-sabotage. That is creating in here for yourself a level of distraction on your own business. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay.
If I can choose, of course I will choose the bring us our heart desire.
Love.
But sometimes in my life do like that. The other one.
Great. And that's okay, because we all do, because none of us have 100% positive language, right? And unless we were a pre-programmed robot, that is never going to happen. However, in understanding the importance of language, you can use the words cancel, clear. All right. So every time you go down down the trail and down the journey of, I can't do this. you then say, cancel, clear. Cancel, clear that. I can. It's about practice to make it happen. But you can make it happen. All right? So I thought today we would do a little journey of writing down your goals from your heart's desire, okay? So what I would like you to do right now is get yourself a piece of paper and a pencil and write down the goal you would like to achieve in the next year. Now, it doesn't worry me if it's a young living goal or it is a goal to do with, you know, any other part of your life, because this is about you empowering you. So I don't mind what your goal is. I'm not asking you to share your goal. This is for you to be in relationship with you about. All right? So whatever the goal is, I'd like you to write down whatever that is you'd like to achieve in 1 year. And then I would like you to read that to yourself and say, so this is what I'd like to achieve in a year's time. It could be that I'm engaged to some amazing man. It could be that I am an executive in Young Living or a silver in Young Living. It could be that I'm a gold in Young Living. Whatever it is, let's settle on the fact that it is that in a year's time, I will be a gold in Young Living. All right. So if I was doing this as an example for me and writing down from my heart's desire, these are the things I really, really want. I really, right this moment, am allowing my heart to just share with myself, nobody else, just myself, what I would really love to achieve in a year's time. So in 1 year, I would like to be a golden Young Living. And in 5 years' time, I would like to be looking back as a platinum in Young Living. And in 10 years' time, as a Royal Crown Diamond, I would like to look back on that journey of where I was 5 years ago and where I was in my first year when I started looking at the importance of conscious languaging and how that has helped me. So write those goals down for yourselves. And having written them down, get absolutely outrageous with them. So go back on them and visit them again and say, in 1 year's time, in being outrageous, I would like to be a platinum. In 5 years' time, I would like to be a Royal Crown Diamond. And in 10 years' time, I will be a Royal Crown Diamond with 10 Royal Crown Diamonds in my membership around the world. Just be outrageous. Just, just create something that seems so extreme and out of your comfort zone. Because what I will say to you is this: we have to think it to bring it into our possibility realm. We have to think it to start down that pathway and that journey. And we have to feel it to know that it is possible. So just be outrageous. And if you're struggling with being outrageous with yourself because nobody else is listening but you, say to yourself, in the past, this was a challenge, but today I can be outrageous, and write it down anyhow. All right. And now that you've written down these outrageous goals for yourself, I'm posing another question to you all. What is it that you see? What is it that you hear and tell yourself? And what is it that you feel as the potential for your life going forward? What is your potential? What can you achieve in this world? How can you empower more people around the world and help them to be empowered to greater wellness? What potential do you have to help people achieve that? And write that down. Daydreaming can be very important. So write down the daydreams. Start yourself a journal and be outrageous in your journal. In the past, I struggled to imagine things, and I learned to imagine. And now this is what I'm achieving. This is the journey I'm taking myself on. This is the vacation. Being mindful of language. Please don't say you're going on a break, because I don't want to see any broken bones. All right? But give yourself permission to extend yourself in the world and be the most amazing, best self that you could ever be. Be that person. How do we feed that? By deleting and saying cancel clear on all the things that we come up with daily that we don't want in our life. They're great words. Just think about it. Everything that you don't want in your life, you just have to say cancel clear. Does that give you a sense of choice and control of what happens in your life? I think it's really exciting. Feed yourself by being grateful. Either as you wake up in the morning or you're going to sleep at night, think of 3 things that you can be grateful for the day ahead or the day you've just had. And live in that gratefulness. It just puts a smile on your face. And be mindful consistently of that self-sabotage, of that consistent negativity that runs in our heads, which, as I said, unless we were a programmed robot, it's something that we all have. So it's absolutely there. It is simply the choices you make with what is there. So, be aware of that. Be mindful of that. And just go from there and know in your language. And once again, these are words that you may want to use, or you can find other words. my choice. I choose to increase my group volume and qualify with grace and ease monthly, continuously. And just putting that out there creates a feeling of success. It also means when you talk about things being with grace and ease, it makes it simple. It takes away the hard yards. It takes away the stress. And you can make it happen. And you can feel it. I qualify with grace and ease. Or words to that effect. Just find what it is. Get yourself your journal and start writing it down. How can we help doing that? I went through all of this last week. We can use the feelings kit. And keep in mind, I did mention that, you know, we need to be in the present. So this is why from the languaging perspective, we say in the past and put the negative in the past and come forward into the now with what we're going to do and achieve. But they are beautiful oils in the feelings kit to start with. And have a look at the languaging in them. This is where Gary created a frequency in the oils to help support the emotions which are behind all discomfort and dis-ease in the body. So you got it all. You've got everything there. He's given it to you all to help you. There is AFTs that we can do. There is the oils that are part of AFT that you would need, but you don't need, because you can, with intent, if you don't have these oils, you can use other oils. The inner child is for integration, the release for letting go, the believe for anchoring. But you can use other oils. Any citrus oil, if you don't have inner child, can help with that integration. If you don't have release, then thieves or purification can help with letting go. And if you don't have believe to anchor, try transformation, try magnify your purpose, try, gosh, look, even valor. There will always be an oil that you have that can help you do AFT. There's Carolyn Mine's book, Releasing Emotional Patterns with Essential Oils. That has some amazing work in it on how to use the different oils and the affirmations you then say. Because it's embedding the affirmations, affirming them, and then actually embedding them with using the oils for support. Because what do oils do? And just a reminder, they help to raise your frequency. This is a collection which comes out of your desk reference of how they achieve that. And then I've spoken recently about Tom Wallishan, and I know, Andrea, are you there to talk now, or are you still driving?
Yes, in the car park.
Okay, yep. So have you found that, you know, Tom has been an all-rounder in terms of not only helping give people a great way to cleanse their liver, but also to help with languaging and being mindful of what oils to use and keeping people on task of there are no accidents. You know, this has come from an emotional base. Is that your experience?
Yep, absolutely. I found that, you know, it's a cleanse, but it's also cleansing more than just the body, it's your emotional as well. And that's a big part of it, because the cleanse, like as you know, Pauline, is altogether 16 days, but the 10 days in the middle, it was not easy because you're only on liquid. But with the mind,
Cancel, clear that. In the
yeah,
past, it wasn't easy, but having now achieved it, it's going to be
yeah,
easier next time.
yeah.
Okay.
And with every day on the Zoom, that the affirmation from Tom and encouraging is actually not the body anymore, is actually work from the head. The head is telling, yes, yeah, it's very doable, is possible. And all right, oh, there's another day pass. Oh, boom, that's done. And yeah, found it absolutely, yeah.
Fabulous. Have you enjoyed this talk today, Andrea?
Very much. I did drop a bit at the beginning there, but I did listen to the middle part there, from the 28 minute. That was awesome. Thank you.
Good. Well, you know, Brenda's got it recorded anyhow, but you know, I just am hoping that everybody today can see the importance of how you structure your day-to-day language. And if over the next 7 days before we meet again, where I start to really put together the language and combine that with the oils and how that, you know, completely can come together for you. I really do hope that we can all start to practice more removing I can't and saying I can more frequently. All right. So my query now is, what questions, you know, I'm putting it open now for any of you to come back to me with any questions that you have or any challenges that you have that I can help you redirect your language. Anyone? It would seem that we're all good, Brenda. What about you?
Pauline, I was just, thank you for the presentation. I was just going to ask you first whether we're stopping the recording before the question and answer, or we'll just go on.
Yes, probably to stop the recording's a good idea.